Welcome back to Cooking with Matt. And this week we have a very special dish that we're going to be doing, as my wife and I are going to be inviting a friend over for dinner and conversation tonight. So, as you're about to see, just over 5.5 pounds of beef brisket that will be seasoned up. I'm a little bit behind on the time. Normally I would season it the night before, but unfortunately last night I did happen to fall asleep. And as you can see, there is a fair amount of fat on this, but when you're smoking, fat is going to be your friend. Now, first things first, always, before you touch anything, and after you touch anything, to prevent cross-contamination, you're definitely going to want to keep your hands nice and clean. So first we're going to start off with vegetable oil. That helps keep your meat nice and moist during the cooking process. Then you're going to take your seasoning, which this time we're going with Omaha Steaks mixed seasoning. It's always good for most kinds of meat. And it also helps in trapping in some moisture, so you're not just drying out your meat during the smoking process. And what I like to do, as you're about to see, is I like to coat the entire meat, sides, top, bottom, all that, with a nice liberal amount of seasoning to try and trap everything in, making sure I get it even in the crooks, crannies, all that. And from here, let's bring in our pan, as we also flip it to be able to do the other side. Repeat the process. And as you can notice, I said it before, I haven't touched anything with my right hand. I made sure that the left hand hasn't touched any raw meat, so I'm able to touch other things as well. We got it mostly done. Got a little extra up here because of the fat content. Keep some of that moisture in, you know. At this time, I'm going to take the time to wash the hand. And now you can see with the nice clean hands, free to touch anything without cross-contamination. Gonna wrap this meat up just like a little baby, making sure that it is entirely covered, because if too much of this meat is hanging out, then you're drying it up real bad, and you can create some not so pleasant crispness. And just like that, we're going to put it in the refrigerator until it's time to get the smoker up and running. Okay, so we are back on track now, and we're going to set the smoker to 225 degrees. And once we have a 225 degrees up in here, we'll put the meat in. And now, with the temperature at a good operating temperature, we take the meat that we seasoned right in the center here. At 225 pounds, hour and a half per pound. The meat itself will be ready in about 4 hours. But before we get to that, there will be potatoes added to this meat. So stick around. In the interest of saving time, we now rejoin Matt 1 hour and 45 minutes into the smoking process. And now with the meat going nice and good for the past hour and a half, almost 2 hours, we put in, and I forgot to run the camera on it, some potatoes. Oh, this smells so good, folks. Now the potatoes are going to take roughly about 2 hours in a smoker like this, or until they're easily pierced with a fork. We'll see you at the end. We once again rejoin Matt, this time 4 hours into the smoking process. Here we are 4 hours later. Oh, you can definitely smell it. Turn the meat thermometer on. See if we can it's at 180, so we're going to give it another maybe half hour or so to cook. So after 4 hours and about 4.5 hours, we'll call it, we'll check the temperature one more time, make sure the internal temperature of this brisket is 195 degrees. Oh, and it smells so good. It is looking very good, and we're going to be pulling it off here in the next 5 minutes. And we'll come back out and check on the potatoes here in just a moment. Now to see if the potatoes are really done, you're just going to take the fork, and if it easily pierces through, then you know your potatoes are also done. And that, my friends, is how it's done. We'll see you inside in just a few minutes. Now one thing you're going to want to do, I've already done it while we're setting up the camera, is to recover the meat so that it can rest in that au jus, or juices, whatever you want to call it, can settle back into the meat that's been cooking, and that's going to allow you to have a much juicier brisket, not so dried out. The potatoes are here on the side just to keep them warm. You see fresh tin foil wrapped around the basting pan. That is all for post-meal. Whatever you don't have, you have fresh tin foil to cover up your meat. Stick around, we're going to see exactly how this tastes.
Where in the world am I in the first place?
You're at McLaughlin Hearth in Hartsville, Tennessee.
Okay, just in case anyone did not know, I'm originally from the South Bronx, and I have no idea where I am. The GPS took me here. So, I'm going to say, it's a lovely home. Oh my God! All right. So there you go. All right. So it is time for me to give the ultimate taste test.
Yes.
All right, here we go.
That is the brisket that we cooked.
Take a look at this. This brisket is real, okay? It cut with a butter knife, okay? It was really, really serious. And I'm using 2 knives, so that really can't help me out. All right, that was really impressive, Eric. You used 2 knives. All right. All right, here we go.
I was going to watch the magic happen.
Oh, it was really going to be magic, okay? Look, Exhibit A. butter knife. Look at that. Hold on, let's do that right there. Butter knife. Look at the brisket. Alright, zoom in on the brisket because that's serious right there. You can't go wrong with that, okay? As a New Yorker, we believe in our beef. Here we go. Okay.
Is it a bit cold? Do you want it warmed up?
No. This is perfect. Perfect. It's tender. I use the butter knife. And it tastes good at room temperature. It's serious.
And as I always say, if you can't stand the heat, stay out of the kitchen.